We're getting into tax season, and a good chunk of people are going to get a refund.
Yours might allow for a more considered purchase, like a laptop. What should you look for? Let's compute this.
From Schrock Innovations, Thor Schrock. Good to see you,
Hey,
Thor.
Thor.
Good to see you guys.
How are
And
you?
you know, the good news is, because the IRS is saying the refunds will be slower this year, you have more time to plan your decision
That's right.
on that
you do.
refund. You do.
really examine what you're going to purchase.
How you're going to spend it.
So what's the biggest thing we should watch out for if you plan to spend that money on a new laptop?
Okay, so here's the deal. With laptops, when you buy a laptop, you have to remember you're not buying an upgradable computer. You're buying what you're buying, and you're going to use that until it either breaks or you decide you want something better and you replace it. So when you buy your laptop, a lot of people will purchase a computer based on their immediate needs that day. Your immediate needs today will be different from your immediate needs 2 years from now. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them that. Yet every 2 years, the same people come back in and that bought the lowest end laptop they could possibly buy to buy another laptop, and they end up spending more money in the long run, especially after you consider data transfers and moving antivirus software and all this other stuff, getting it all set up again, the downtime involved. You actually spend more money doing it twice than you would if you just did it right.
Well, and the software and everything. 'Cause
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to buy new software.
Yeah, and then keep in mind that the laptop that you buy today, by the time you're ready to buy a new one, it will have a whole new Windows operating system on it, Windows 10. That's coming out later this year.
So then this idea of overbuying, are there any risks to it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, you know, a lot of people hear what I say and they're like, oh, Thor just wants to sell me a more expensive laptop. That's not the case at all, because you can go on the other side of the spectrum and buy way more than you need. We have customers that come in and they're like, well, I know there's, you know, this Bay Trail dual core over here on the low end, and then you have an i3 and you have an i5. I want the i7. I mean, I want the biggest, baddest thing I can buy. So then you get them the i7. First complaint, it's so heavy. Why is it so much heavier? Well, because it needs a lot more copper inside to cool it, so copper's heavy. The other thing is that screen and the processor use a lot of battery. The i7 uses almost double the battery life of an i5, bigger battery. It also drains faster, even though it has a bigger battery. So if you're planning on carrying this thing around all the time, you don't want an i7.
You want the Goldilocks.
Yes.
You want the Goldilocks.
You want something in the middle.
Absolutely.
So what should we consider? What are the basic minimum requirements that we should expect when we get a laptop?
All right, so what we've seen in our service center, we see a lot of computers for repair. You know, we fix broken computers. When we fix people's broken computers, you know, we have the outliers, the people who have so much stuff on their hard drives, like me, like my wife, you know, where we fill up a 500 gig hard drive, we would fill it up. I have a 500 gig solid state in my computer at home, and I'm uninstalling programs because I'm running out of room. I'm going to have to upgrade to a terabyte. My wife already did upgrade to a terabyte, but she does a lot of photography work, like high-end photography work and graphics work for Schrock specifically. So, you know, her space gets taken up quite a bit.
Her files are bigger.
Absolutely. So most of our customers, however, are going to use about 80 gigabytes of their hard drive. So when you go shopping and you say, well, this one has a 500 gig hard drive and this one over here has a 1 terabyte, I want the 1 terabyte. Hard drives are one of the things you can replace in a laptop. So if you outgrow your hard drive, we can put in a different one. If it's $100 more to go with this hard drive over here, don't do it. Go with the 500, especially if you're using it just, you hear this all the time, I use it for internet, email, Facebook, and maybe some online bill paying. You don't need a 1 terabyte hard drive to do that. So the big things to watch out for when you look at overbuying are, don't go crazy on the size of the hard drive, don't go solid state unless the performance of the computer is the #1 thing you're concerned about. If you're concerned about portability, if you're concerned about affordability, solid states are gone. You know, you're not gonna go with that, especially with the affordability. The last thing is memory. 4 to 6 gigs of memory is perfect for the next 3 to 4 years. That's exactly what you're going to want. You can go to 6. 6 is great. But again, you're looking at a slight price jump when you move to 6. So like I said, it depends on what you're using the computer for, which is why that's the first question we ask you when you come in to buy a laptop at Schrock.
Brands. How about different types, brands of
You're trying to get me sued, Mike. That's what you're trying to do here.
You know,
let's
but
just say,
that's a great question.
Which brands do you recommend
Okay.
instead of which brands would you avoid?
Wink, wink. We have a big sale coming up next week at Schrock. And so we're doing, you know, market research to make sure we're positioned right for the sale. And I noticed that if you go to Dell.com, the cheapest laptop that you can buy on Dell.com is $379. And that's a laptop you wouldn't want. I mean, it falls under the minimum categories that we set out earlier. The reviews on it, of course, if you look at the reviews they put on their website, they're all like, this is an amazing laptop, 5 stars. But if you make the 5 or 6 clicks so you can see all of the reviews and then sort them by most recent, because the laptop models change over time, you're going to see 2-star reviews across the board on it. it doesn't work, it breaks. It's fast at first, then it gets slow.
Right,
The
slow.
battery dies, the screen stopped working. Those cheaper laptops in that $379 range, they're just not built to last. So what we do at Schrock with our laptops is we offer Asus branded laptops. A lot of people haven't heard of Asus, but if you have an HP or a Dell, guess what? You have an Asus. They make the
just
parts.
brand it.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
make the
it's just
parts that go
branded
inside.
differently.
So, you know, to some people this is shocking. Like, I thought I had a Ford, but you're telling me it's really a Chevy? You know, Ford comes out with the aluminum body. GMC is on, you know, playoff games yesterday advertising their all steel submarine shaped body, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, it's competitive stuff, but they want to get the lowest price possible, but it's junk. So our laptops start in that $499 price range. Like I said, that Goldilocks range, where it's going to be a little more expensive than the $379,
But it's going to last
but
longer.
you're not going to be giving it 2-star reviews either.
Schrock Innovations, 3 locations in our area, and you could visit any of them to talk about buying a laptop and really go through the process of what is your lifestyle, how do you intend to use the device, that way you're getting something that's perfect for your needs.
And there's nothing worse when you get with one of these lower end laptops and it takes forever to load a program, takes forever to load a screen or a
Yeah,
page.
it's the worst when you get a brand new computer and it's sluggish.
Yeah, thanks, Thor.
Thank you, Thor. Have
Thanks,
a great
guys.
week.
You too.
Tomorrow